Hello, and welcome to another session of Recent Thoughts, the show where I talk about inner stuff, feelings, and general topics for about 15 minutes. Today's episode has to do with art. Specifically, I've chosen to talk about art and content. Tulun over here suggested this topic. Thank you a lot for suggesting. Again, if you have anything you want me to talk about, feel free to post it down in the comments section below. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you will be notified whenever a new episode of this show comes out. Feel free to put this in the background and listen to me passively while, playing a game or doing anything. It's a podcast of me just talking about stuff for 15 minutes. Speaking about that, I have my timer ready to go in 3, 2, 1, go. Right. I chose to specifically combine the topic of art with the topic of content because I felt like, first of all, when talking about art, I don't think I could have filled a whole 15-minute podcast with it. And second of all, art has to do a lot with content because it is essentially, it's not synonyms, but it is essentially what comes out of a project. For example, art can be literally anything. It could be a montage, a gaming montage, right? Because that's just an art style of editing, which could be art. It's still content, right? So in a sense of way, just like with the Inside Special by Bo Burnham, by the way, go watch it, it's so good. I feel like it's become art, but it's also content to watch. So it's kind of synonyms, I would say. So I kind of want to elaborate on that. I feel like not every type of content is art by itself, but each piece of art is content, and there can be good and bad types of content, which still could be good art. Let me elaborate on that. If you make something, right, it doesn't matter what, any type of content for entertainment purposes, you're passively also making a piece of art for people to enjoy. And art can be very subjective because when most people think about art, they think about drawings or they think about music, but it can be essentially everything. It can be, drawings essentially is animation, but animation is a different style of making content or art forms. Editing is an art in itself. There's a lot of art behind stuff like doing sports, taekwondo, for example, or every other, boxing sport or whatever the hell you want to, whatever the hell sport art there is, it's still an art form because art is a very subjective term. And so I kind of want to combine that with content because content as is also subjective. But it's something that can be also combined with entertainment and watching that, right? Because art forms are taught and content is created, right? And art forms, I'm talking, I'm thinking about that stereotypical art form of like kung fu and stuff like that, right? And you can make a gaming montage and consider it to be content, but I don't think it's art. I think it's a type of content. It's always going to be content. An art form is something you create having something in mind, but if you do straight up compilations, I don't think it's art. And might be a controversial topic, might be something that people do not agree with me on, but I feel like that's the way I see content as art. When I make content as is, trying to put as much quality in as possible. I'm not saying that I'm making it to be art. I'm making it to be seen. It doesn't automatically turn into art that way. But I think art is something more that can be remembered. Different kinds of content. For example, the Inside Special, right? The Inside Special by Bo Burnham. I'm probably going to come back to that case and that example a lot of times because it is a truly art. And in my opinion, art is content that tells a story and that can be remembered, right? For example, well-made trailers. I think, and that might also be controversial, right? But the Battlefield 2042 trailer, it's art. I feel like it's art because it has made itself into a joke to the point where it's comedic art, and it's an incredible trailer. Like, don't get me wrong, it got me hooked on buying Battlefield 2042. I didn't buy it because I chose to let the hype sink down and then choose if I would buy it or not. Best opinion in my life. Like, in my opinion, that was the best choice to make because nowadays Battlefield 2042 is useless. I'm sorry, but it's just no. So like something like that, or if you've ever seen Warpath, the trailer from Warpath, is also a game which turned out to be a stupid mobile game, but the trailer for it was incredible. And I think putting out content like this makes it into art because people then can get inspired by it. Which is also a thought that just struck my head. I think art is more something that could inspire a person to make more content or art, right? I've never been an art person. So talking generally about drawings, right? I've tried to get away from art classes as much as possible in school. Every time there was a choice between music and art, I would always choose music. Just because I wasn't talented in doing art. I really wish I could have learned it, and I wish I could draw, because that way I won't have to commission an artist and pay amounts of money to make art for me, but I have to. I'm happy for that as well, because that way I met Ro, my artist, and a very talented guy, incredible artist. I love him. He's so cool. But yeah, I was never the kind of person that makes art by drawing. I tried making music, and I've talked about that as well, I think. Tried making music, like lo-fi music, future funk music as well. But that was not out of inspiration. And don't get me wrong, I got inspired. I got inspired by an artist called Andrew Huang. Go watch him, he's an incredible artist. He makes a very fun tutorials, and it's very nice. I learned how to make music through that artist. But most of the times, the music I made was to kind of, I think, satisfy either my depression or my loneliness in life. Especially lo-fi. Future funk, I just made for the funsies, and I liked it. But lo-fi was just me being a depressed teenager getting out of a toxic relationship. So I don't know. I wish I could have drawn, and I could have done this and that, but I wasn't talented enough. I think art needs talent. And talent, not only talent, but a lot of work. People can edit whole videos, and they turn out incredibly good. And some of them I would consider art and content. And I just think of myself, how the hell can they do that? How the hell is someone that talented and can make that or this art? It's crazy. going back to a type of content, like art as well as content is very versatile. It's very versatile in nature because content can be literally everything that can be watched and enjoyed. Coming from anything from video content to music content to, well, I mean, live content as well. I mean, go to any theater and you'll get free content. Not free, paid, but you get my point, right? Content can be very versatile, and I think I don't know the reason why people make content. I know reason for me. I know the reason I make content is to be seen and to be heard out there. And since I am craving for attention, no, I'm not, but I like to be seen and heard, and I try to make as good of content of a content English, as good of videos as possible. And I don't always succeed. For example, this content, I don't, sorry, this podcast, I don't think will be the very best, so excuse me for that. But I don't know. I try to make. I try to get it to like art level, and I've had a couple of videos like these that I actually deleted off of this channel to re-upload to another one. It's called Love Letters. I started making. I think that was my first video I've ever posted on this channel as well. I'm a very big movie fan. Especially, I'm a very big fan of Star Wars, Marvel, and animes like Attack on Titan. So I chose to, I thought like, hey, okay, maybe I should give something back to the community. So I decided to make love letter videos and essentially just edit out the best pieces of, for example, Star Wars. I chose to make kind of like a chronological order from the Old Republic up to the Rebellion and Star Wars 6, because everything from 7 to 9 is trash and we don't talk about that. And I overlaid it with music, and it fits so perfect. And I think that as I already said, editing is an art form, and you can make genuine art. I think that, I feel like an asshole saying this, but I felt like I was making art. Like by making these love letters, and the same with Marvel and with Attack on Titan, I felt like I was making genuine art, and I tried to promote it. It's incredibly interesting what people make, because you can search through entire Reddit threads of stupid memes and and edits and stuff like that. But once in a while, you find a video that was genuinely like, it was made with a heart, right? So it was put together very, very well and stuff like that. And you can see, you think like, oh shit, that's art. I love that. It's the type of content for me, right? And it's incredibly nice to see those kinds of videos, even if they're just lost gems, right? It's incredibly nice to see those kinds of videos. And I'm going back to content made on YouTube because that's probably the most stereotypical type of content in the world right now. But like stuff like streams, they can be art too. I recently heard that I think a couple of streamers, I don't know how many, but they rented out a whole stadium to play soccer, and they invited a bunch of their viewers to be how's it called, to be the like visitors and, you know, people that watch in the stadium, and they just live streamed a whole session of soccer. And that was, I didn't watch that. I really want to watch that. But yeah, the people that watched it said that was so fun to see. It was so cool to see. And like, I couldn't take off my eye for a single second. And I feel like I would consider that to be art. You can make as much content as you want, but only the best, like the gems of that become art that will stay and will fight the fight of time. I don't stand the trial of time. How does that say? I don't know, whatever. But it's something that could inspire others to make content and potentially art by themselves, right? Again, I'm sorry if I'm going around one topic and trying to improvise that, but it's hard for me to talk about art as is. But yeah. Right, we have 30 more seconds left. And with that, I want to genuinely thank you guys for listening to this podcast, and I hope you tune into the others. Thank you, Tulin, for the nice comment. If anybody wants me to talk about anything else, just post a comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and get notified. That helps a lot, in my opinion, for the next time that a new episode is coming out. We have reached the 15-minute mark. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, in case you were watching, and I'll see you in the next session. Goodbye.